Hello, and today I'm going to present to you my Construct 2 game. Now, the game is a 8-bit puzzle dungeon kind of platform, similar to games such as Splunky and etc. Now, the game's story is about a knight who hears strange voices coming from a dungeon, so he decides to explore. He enters and he hears voices echoing throughout the dungeon. As he goes through each door, the voice gets closer, but the skeletons seem to guard the voice. But the voice gets denser, more difficult to avoid. Unfortunately, when you try to fight back skeletons, due to their invincibility because they're skeletons, the knight has to jump over and dodge and evade the skeletons and find the source of the voice. He must collect coins to offer to the voice, as it might lead to a reward, which may benefit the knight in a later voyage and quests in the future. Now, the game's basic gameplay will consist of the player requiring to jump over the enemies, dodging them, and proceed to the doors to reach each level. He must collect coins to increase his score and offer them at the end to claim a reward. There are hearts throughout the level that will be available for the knight to pick up to refill their health in case it's lost when in contact with the skeletons. There are 2 types of enemies. One will be deadlier on contact. However, another one is ranged. They will shoot fire at the enemy, but is also deadly on contact. Both have the intent to kill them. Now, the game's terrain is based on a dungeon. For the artwork, I've used 8-bit, so the textures aren't high quality to the software that I have available to myself. Now, the dungeon is surrounded by walls and wooden floors, and the light source are torches on the walls. The walls are covered in moss and look as though they've not been maintained in many years. The dungeon looks abandoned, and no one living in it besides yourself and the skeletons. The floor is made out of woods, there's very many cracks, and under-maintained and is very dirty. Now, here's a screenshot from the game I have developed. Now, as you can see, I haven't included moss on the walls, as I have not designed a fitting look for it. But as you can see by the cobbled floor, that is the ground, the walls, and the torches on the walls, the light source. Now, the game's architecture is the inside of a dungeon again, and the doors are old and wooden, held together with nails and random points in the dungeon. Now, there are fake doors, when I do add them, that will just lead to a wall. The walls are covered in moss again. I haven't designed them, and look like they haven't been maintained in many years. The light sources on the walls are provided the only light in the dungeon and are lit indefinitely. As you can see again. Now, the game's objects. The game has coins. The coins can be collected to increase the score of the player and be offered at the end to receive a reward that will aid the player in the future quests. There are also hearts throughout the level that are available to the player to regain health in case it's lost to trying to avoid an enemy. So this is the door. This is the level progression system in the game. So you have to reach this door at the end of every level to progress to the next one. Again, you can see it fits to the type of description I gave. They are quite old, wooden, and look like they haven't been maintained. Do look like they have been held together with nails for many years. Now, the game's characters. In the game, there are 4 characters. And the first one is your character, the main character, who will traverse the dungeon avoiding the enemies. The second one is a melee enemy. Now, the melee enemy can kill the player on contact and will move backwards and forwards, but not up and down. Unfortunately, I haven't coded any movement for the enemies, just the player. This will be done at a later stage as the game is still in a pre-alpha stage. The ranged enemy that shoots fireballs at the end, at the range. Unfortunately, I haven't coded those either. So the player is only affected by them on contact. But I will keep the on contact for the enemies, as it is another enemy to avoid. The final one is a hidden voice, which is heard throughout the game. Now, it's not a physical character, but is a audible character that you'll hear and assume is there. So these are the two enemies and your main character. On the left is your main character. Now I made him quite broad, 8-bit, kind of very rigid, just getting that 8-bit vibe trying for the main character. The middle sprite is the melee character that moves forwards and backwards. As you can see, it's a skeleton / ghost, cloaked in a robe or tattered like cloth or some kind of thing. The third character, or sprite, is the ranged character. This is the one that moves up and down. As you can see, it looks like it's hovering up and down, and it has his hand out, showing that it may throw a fireball. Both are equipped with scythes, because why not? They do look quite menacing. Now, the game has audio, so that the game doesn't sound boring. Now, when the player jumps, an 8-bit sound will play, like the type of 8-bit jumping sound that you get in the old 80s arcade games. A ting is played when the player collects a coin, and a drink sound is played when the player picks up health. A door opening sound plays when the player opens a door, and a creepy voice plays when the player dies or if the game is over. A smashing of bones also plays when the player dies, and a little girl's voice can be heard throughout the game when the player completes the game. So this is the sounds that I've used in the game. As you can see, the first one is the coin chime. The second one is the door opening. The third one is the 8-bit jump. The other two are the ghost and skeleton sounds. Now, I've had to create these on a website and modify them in Adobe Audition. So this is why the links look a bit random, and then the rest of them are just other ones that are throughout the game. So the game's interface, the player's health, score, lives, coins, and inventory will all be displayed at the bottom of the screen, and doesn't clutter the screen, and keeps everything compact on the screen and makes it look tidy and clean. This was just so that the player's vision wasn't obstructed by the HUD of the game. So this is what the interface would look like at the bottom of the screen. As you can see, the lives, healths, score are all there, and underneath the score would be your 6 placed inventory slots. So this is what the entire game would look like to the player. As you can see, it's the exact same for the game, and the inventory, score, levels, and hearts are all at the bottom of the screen, and that would move along with the player as he progresses through the levels. This is a sound library of sounds that I've collected and modified throughout the months I've been developing this game. So in case I needed to add a trap of a flame trap, I've got a flamethrower sound for that, or if I need to put a distant whine into the game, I've got 3 pitches of whines of high, low, and medium. And this library of sounds is all there just in case I need it. So I've already shown this game to the public on my YouTube channel, and I've gained feedback from the game, and I've provided a link in the description below if you would like to watch it. But I'm also going to demonstrate it here just for presentation purposes. So let's have a look at the game. So to the game, this is the start game. This is the script for it, and then as you can see, each level has its own script for its level. And it goes through all these stages. Again, I only have 3 levels, as it is only in pre-alpha stage whilst I work out any kinks with the game. Okay, let's start the game. I have made it so that it opens up in a web browser for ease of access. So when you hit start, a sound will play. I'll turn on the volume because it's quite loud. So a song will play that I have also developed on a website. It is quite 8-bit and very reminiscent of the old 80s arcade games. So as you can hear with the creepy voice at the beginning with the welcome to the dungeon. Now, as you proceed through the game, there are two sounds that you need to listen out for the first part of this game. Firstly is the coin collection. As you can hear, the coin collection is just a kind of like dropping money into a bag. The second one will be bones crushing when the player touches an enemy. As you can hear, the bones sound like they're being cracked and crushed as you touch the enemy. So you can hear the 8-bit jump as you jump over. And then the level progression, when you touch a door, it goes to the next level. Now if we proceed through the game and get to the end, now I would like to demonstrate with the score system. As you pick up a coin, it will give you 5 points for the yellow coins, and then for the diamonds, it will give you 10 points. Now, at the end here is where the creepy voice comes in. So I will turn up the volume and you can have a listen. So unfortunately, as you can hear, the game's music overlaps the voices, but they are there and they also play when you die. Now I will demonstrate what happens when you die. So and this is what it sounds like when you die. So you can hear the creepy voice playing in the background for when you die. So thank you for watching this video, and so I can present my Construct 2 game. Again, this game is in pre-alpha and unfortunately won't be complete for a little while, as I have more artwork for the walls, for the moss, and also code the fireballs for the enemies, and also the movement for the enemies. So thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.